Hi, I'm Marshall Atkinson with Atkinson Consulting, and this is Printavo's Ask Marshall Mondays. Printavo is your easy-to-use online shop operating system that's designed specifically for screen printers, embroidery shops, and also digital printers. So if you need a shop operating system, please look at Printavo at printavo.com. So today's question is, how do I find ways to reduce my shop costs? So that's a great question. One of the things that we really want to do when we talk about reducing costs is first, let's establish a baseline for what your costs are. So one of the things when I talk to shops, a lot of people don't even have a clue of how much money they're spending. And there's a couple things that you want to look at. The top 3 or 4 probably are, one is your labor. So you want to establish how much you're spending on labor. Labor is probably one of your biggest variables that you have in your shop. So it's just your hourly wage. It's also overtime. It's also maybe some of your salaried folks, or if you contract out. So maybe you use an outside freelance artist, or maybe your accountant, bookkeeper could be outside. Next is your facility. So that's your energy. That's anything to do with running your shop in your building. And finally, the last cost that's an easy thing to control is your consumables. This is your ink, this is your emulsion, this is your spray tack or boxes or shrink wrap or masking tape or anything like that you regularly buy to do things in your shop with. So those are probably the top 3. So what you want to do is first is you want to establish a baseline for these different things. So go into your past history, and what you want to do is you want to do what's called normalizing. So this is a statistical way of looking at things. So bring up what your actually work was for a month. Let's just say last month. How much did you do? Everything that you do can be considered an impression. So if you print a front and a back, that counts as 2 impressions. So how many impressions did you produce in a month? And then what you can do is you can look at how much you spent on your labor, how much you spent on your energy, that's your electricity and water and natural gas and propane if you have a forklift, and then how much do you spend on consumables? That's your ink, that you bought some cardboard boxes or tape or whatever. And what you want to do is you want to divide what you spent by how much you printed, and then you can get your cost per imprint. So if your cost per imprint is 33 cents for your labor, and you think you want to lower that to maybe 25, you got to look at what you're spending. What are you spending on your labor? So do you have too many people? Do you have too much overtime? Is there a way that you can get more done with the same labor per day? So what you want to do is you want to quantify this stuff, put it on an Excel spreadsheet, maybe create a graph so you can look at it over time. You can also look at some data you might have in your system. So it's, what did you spend last year or by every month for these 3 categories? And then make a graph of that. And then there's a great saying that says, you can't manage what you don't measure. So that's why you want to do everything with controlled experiments, try to look at things. And once you've established your cost, you can then ask, why? Why are we doing it this way? Why do we use this brand of masking tape or this particular brand of emulsion? Or what happens if we do things differently? For our underbase screen, if we coat it an extra coat on the print side, maybe we won't have to double stroke and we can use less white ink. So you can set up all sorts of experiments like this, and then when things work, what you'll see is your costs will start coming down, and then you'll know that you're a success. So that's today's Ask Marshall Monday. I'm Marshall Atkinson with Atkinson Consulting, and this has been Printavo's Ask Marshall Monday. Thank you.